Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Be the Media Huntington. Tonight is Wednesday, March 27th, and I'm your hostess, Jenny Lee. And tonight, as always, I have with me Miss Dana.
Hi, guys.
And Ms. Lisa.
Hi, everyone.
Whew. So, spring is coming, and I wanted to, as we open the show, make sure that we brought this fun thing for everyone to do. Even though it's dark out, it's not going to show much. At least maybe then you can find this page later. But the Eagles are back. The Eagles are back. So, but there's a live cam. I know you can't see anything. It's dark. Watch this in the morning and you'll see. But you're going to go to Bald Eagles of Centerport, and I heard that they have eggs. And yeah, they're going to have babies again.
Do they know how many?
No. Well, he has the camera far enough away to where you can't, but you can. I've watched it during the day because I have nothing but time, apparently. And you can see them every so often in the nest. So you can see their heads. And so he's far enough, but you can't really see in the nest.
Yep.
But I've heard, I don't know. I mean, Lisa, you put up that great photo of the eagle that caught the drone.
Mm-hmm. That was, oh my God, was that incredible?
That was really neat.
I go down there quite often.
Is it the same place we went last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
My daughter works right down the street from there. So, I go there to, bring her some lunch or coffee or whatever, because I'm just like that. I'm a pushover. And then I go right down the road and go watch the Eagles. And I got to see them a couple of weeks ago. Got to see the father literally fly out of the tree and just, oh God, just.
It's so neat. I had never.
When I do see them, it's just so.
It's amazing.
I get so emotional because they're so incredible.
I was in the car with Liam, and I was driving through Centerport. We were driving right in front of the mill pond, and the post office is on our left-hand side, and before the Eagles just right in front of us flying. It was so neat, and it was just me and Liam, and he was like, "That is the coolest thing ever." The American
one thing that's not related to the nest is the parking issues down there. It's getting a little anal, I should say.
Where?
I mean, I understand no parking means no parking. Some people just want to go down there and pull over where they're not supposed to, even though they're not going to hurt anybody or, they're not causing traffic jams. They just want to try to get a glimpse of an eagle flying or eating or whatever. And people are getting a little nuts down there.
But they're already nuts. I can't even drive through town without somebody thinking they could just make a U-turn in the middle of Wall Street just because they want to.
Yeah.
All
I want to say about that, but
you want
some
to
of it's a little over the top, but other things, it's understandable. Not many places to park and pull over there if you just want to catch a glimpse of the Eagles, except for their shanty motel, and they're just making such a big deal out of that. The politician hangout. They don't want us to see anything.
They don't want to see anyone coming and going and out of the pay-by-the-hour hotel.
Y'all are friends.
Yeah, there's too many witnesses.
Y'all are friends.
Next.
You got 50 people out there with cameras all the time now. You gotta have to find another place to take your date for lunch.
Y'all are starting that.
Oh, we'll come back to the local politics on that one.
I'm staying away from that.
But this is a really good segue. Last week we on our show we really ended up going into the national stuff, which we're probably going to start in the format of staying locally for the first half hour and then heading into the national stuff because it does impact us. All of it does. But one of the things that we trashed from the format last week was the parking situation. We didn't get to cover it because the hour just flew. Do you remember what was going on with the parking amendments?
Yeah, they wanted to charge you, like they will stop you from getting your car renewed, your license renewed, ridiculous fines. And I think they gave you like one chance, or I don't remember exactly.
30 days.
Yeah,
right?
30 days.
30 days.
I mean, they just going overboard with the trying to create revenue.
They need that money quick too, because the 30 days, then they're going to really hurt you. They need that money quick.
Yeah, so it's like, I get it. You need revenue. Okay, you're in government. I get that you're going to do things we don't like, but I just think that they're taking it overboard, because people like us who live in those towns or live in the area, I drove around last week for 13 minutes looking for parking. 30 minutes. Why should I have to look for parking? I live here. And then I have to pay a fee to park, as if taxes aren't enough.
And now if you don't pay that ticket you got for the parking you finally found that your meter expired on or something, and you don't pay it in 30 days, they can now prevent you from renewing your driver's license, from getting a permit for you. And none of these things have anything to do with the other.
And not for nothing, my dad, he drives, and sometimes he's not very honest when he gets tickets, right? So he hides them. He hides them from everyone because he's home during the day, so he gets the mail. So I'm just thinking, what happens if he hides one and we don't get it in enough time? Now it's 30 more days. Like, what are you going to tell him? He's like a million. He forgot.
Right. And you won't know until something comes up and it's on your credit report, because they'll do that too, which is, if all of a sudden you're trying to get a mortgage on your, like a home equity on your home because you need the money because somebody had a really big hospital bill or something, when you need a home equity loan, you
need whatever reason, you need it. Yeah.
And all of a sudden all this garbage will come up that you have to pay this, and you didn't pay the ticket. Now the fines, so triple, quadruple, it's
disgusting.
Really is.
It's really disgusting, and I'm just like, God.
And we're the people that play by the books.
And I wonder, because I've seen some of these politicians, not for nothing, they do some real crappy parking themselves, and they don't always follow the rules.
I've seen them at political events get verschnickered and get in their car and drive home. I've seen it firsthand, and I mean verschnickered.
What does that mean? Look, I was like,
it's kind of like a foo bar. Like, it's more than tipsy. It's more than, no, I only had a few. I'm gonna be fine. I only had 2 cocktails with her, and it's like stumbling, slurring, completely intoxicated,
completely schmucked up.
Right? Get in the car after a political event to help raise money to hire somebody to make more laws against you. And I've firsthand witnessed them breaking laws that are already made. I'm not even going to tell you some of the stuff I've seen.
That doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah. But I've definitely witnessed that.
It's kind of like, why do you,
it's so dirty, Dana.
It is.
It's really dirty.
It is.
I
don't know. There's no words for it, but
we don't have dirty politics in Huntington now, do we?
Oh, all right. So let's cover the fire in Avalon so we can go straight into the politics, because we have mentioned that. Let's just get the silly stuff out of the way. Let me get that set up for you guys. Go ahead. Talk about the dirties.
Wasn't that awful, that fire, though? My God. But there has to be something with those Avalons, because they're always catching a fire.
That's the third one, right?
And there's some, because my relatives had lived in Avalon in New Jersey. Although their Avalon is a bit different from ours, because their Avalon is an actual little city with the homes surrounding the little city, like with the banks, the supermarkets. So it's a little different. But they had a fire in there too. So it's like, what kind of materials are y'all using that you keep catching a fire?
Well, if you were watching the news, I know it didn't happen in Huntington, but Suffolk County, there's been at least 3 apartment complexes that have caught fire this month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it a horrible coincidence, or is there something more to it?
All I know is that they're built to burn. They really are built to burn. They're built cheaply.
Well, they definitely build things half-assed these days.
Well, they're not built.
They do. They're just like, like a little kit. 1, 2, 3, a couple of nails, and boom, it's up.
Yeah. Well, definitely the Avalons, because a lot of them have burnt.
So I'm going to show you two things this way. I only have to do one screen share. We're going to go, just so you girls know, we're going to go straight from the fires to the Sutter family. Okay. You saw I put all that stuff up there. I thought, and then we'll come back and we'll go right into the elections and nonsense. So this is the fire.
Wow. Oh, God.
I'm going to stop it here and there. So
and because of the wind that day, we had like what, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, it turned even that faster.
Look at that. How many apartments do you think that you know, affect impact?
A lot.
Up next is cartoon chicken. No, thank you. Okay. Crazy videos. So on top of Avalon burning, and I bring that up, you know, because like Lisa was saying, there's been a lot of this. But this also, the Sutter family has done this great, wait, let me take you to the before. I want you to see the before.
Oh
my goodness, right? They went down. This is where they were going to build the, across the street from what I call Crap Creek condos, across the street from the sewage plant. We covered this.
Yes, I remember.
The Valencia Tavern, just in case anybody wants to go back and review what we covered with that. It's the one with the picture of the Valencia Tavern where we covered this whole project. But they did this cleanup. They did a good job, and they deserve some credit for this. They did a great job.
They did a fantastic job.
They really did.
And it's all Bud Light. It's all the same.
Bud Light and a little heroin on the side.
Oh yeah, that
too.
the
needles. I was like,
oh, that was great. Yeah, I'm going to show you those too. But this, right? It's all
disgusting.
Bud Light. It's not different.
Who does that? Who does that?
Huh?
Filthy, filthy.
So here's the other stuff that they got. Oops, that's now everybody knows what's on our price. I don't care. We don't put anything here. You can't see. And then this is the after. It's just so fun. They're nice people. They're doing a great job. Look, they found a boot.
I saw it was a female boot too. So I was like, that's interesting.
And then the needles.
That is crazy.
You gotta be careful. I hope they have some thick gloves. God forbid they stab themselves or prick
I
themselves
know.
with a needle.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they don't know what they could get.
Oh, they got some Kentucky Fried Chicken. Hey, you're right. They got the notes. So then after it was cleaned up, they went the next day and they upgraded from Bud Light to Bud.
Oh my God.
It's just crazy. Like, how it's just so disrespectful. You knew it was disgusting because you went there and probably said, oh, there's something leftish here. Yeah. People are just
new boxes.
Inconsiderate and disgusting and just
maybe they need some extra patrols down there.
They need a lot more than that. If somebody is leaving all that in just one night, that's just blatant disrespect.
Don't we have armed rangers?
Do we?
I don't know. Do we still have them?
I have no idea. I've never seen them. Did we ever?
We went in a new direction. I'm not sure what happened.
Did you ever see them?
I never saw them.
I never saw them either.
No, I never saw them. I never saw them. You know what I have seen?
What?
Dirty politicians.
Ooh.
Yes.
Right here in Huntington?
Ooh. Well, yeah. Like they're, ooh. You know what's funny? There's a complete change going on with everything. It's like a cosmic shift where it hit nationally, the Republican Party. Trump just, that whole thing there, blew them up.
Just shook the earth.
Just everything. And then now the Democrat Party, they're all confused and shook, and they've gone really far left. And what I remember is when the economy started to really tank, it took a while to hit New York.
Mm-hmm.
It did. Like a lot of other people, especially in the Red Belt areas where it just really hit, the economy really hit the Midwest much quicker than it hit us.
Right.
We were one of the last to start to feel it. This cosmic boom that's happening it hasn't come to us yet. And although we're seeing a lot of changes in politics on a national level, we're still business as usual here. Mm. We're still super swampy. Mm. And it's witnessed because, and again, I've said this so many times, I like Chad, but they're still playing the same game. Nobody has any desire to change what it is. So all you're doing is switching political parties. You're not really changing anything. It's not a new direction that's seeped in change. It's just now you're appointing Republicans in your party just like they were doing. It's no different.
Different party name, but the
right. Same exact, right, same everything.
Different day.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I found interesting that came up this week, and then I'm going to go county and then let Dana get her stuff in.
Ooh.
Was the, hold on, I'm going to click over here real quick. This one, and I used his photo tonight. This is an editorial, but I have to tell you, this editorial is very true. And if you go back to our first episode, we had talked about cross-party endorsements. And I had shown you how the conservatives for years have been endorsing Democrat judges. And people will go in as a conservative and just pull a lever, which is their own fault. But they're electing Democrat judges, it's the most important position that you're really voting for. So this is from the editorial board, the disputed election that allowed Frank Tenary to continue as chairman of the Suffolk County Conservative Party was overturned last week by a state judge who ordered a new vote. In a sane world, the behind-the-scenes antics of a political party that enrolls just over 2% of the county's voters would be very small news indeed. But in the realm of Suffolk politics, the endless manipulations of minor parties and the county's Democratic Party are central to how patronage is divvied up. Voters are disenfranchised and power is retained. Last week, State Supreme Court Justice David Riley sought to put an end to this nonsense. He wisely threw out Tenary's September re-election as party chairman, noting in his decision that the election devolved into a shouting match with no rule of order firmly established. Both the 2016 and 2018 party elections were deeply flawed, and I concur that this is true. One consequence, a party not led by Tenary might not have made a mega deal involving cross endorsements on 8 judges now sitting pretty on the bench. It's true. Mm-hmm. The meeting was held at the Hop Hop Union Hall in the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers and attended by participants who had no business being there, including County PBA President Noel DiGirolamo and other police union officials who came out to support Tenary at the behest of Rich Schaefer, the Democratic Party chair. Tenary's opponent in both elections, Brookhaven conservative leader Kenneth Arbach, was supported by County GOP Chairman John J. Laval, who wants to break up the Democratic conservative cabal. Arbach won in court because Tenary allowed motions on the final vote to be decided by a voice vote. Party rules, however, require each vote cast to be weighted on the state assembly district turnout in the previous gubernatorial election, which requires a roll call vote to make the calculation. Even worse, at the outset of the meeting, Tenary filled vacant seat committee spots by allowing all those present to vote regardless of eligibility. This is par for the course. Similar misconduct in filling vacancies in 2016 resulted in an appellate court ruling that temporarily invalidated Tenary's win over Albrock. This minor party madness matters to Suffolk voters because the philosophical, unattainable, but political profitable alliance between conservative and Democratic leaders has allowed both parties to manipulate elections. That's because New York is one of just 4 states that allows candidates to appear on multiple parties' ballot lines, a form of fusion voting. It's an easily corrupted system that shrinks the choices of voters. 6 years ago, Suffolk's district attorney, treasurer, and sheriff all ran unopposed on the major and minor party lines because they were cross-endorsed by every party line. Stop the deals, stop rigging every race, we wrote then in this legislative session. Albany lawmakers should outlaw fusion voting. But in the meantime, Riley has ordered all sides to appear at a March 15th conference to determine a procedure for holding a new election and the selection of a monitor to oversee the process. That monitor needs to exercise an iron hand to make a video record of the proceeding to ensure that the leadership of Suffolk County Conservative Party is chosen fairly by party members and not hijacked by political operators for their nefarious ends. I thought that article was very well done and put together, and it's something that we have all been saying here for doing this show. We've been saying it for the last 2 years.
We've been saying it, but that's all that we could do is because nothing has changed. So we'll see.
And how many did we go walk through the party line endorsements with everyone, and we show everybody like you're really voting for it. We really tried to bring the information, but
it fell on deaf ears. So
doesn't matter.
We're still in the same boat,
basically, and the boat is starting to fill up with water.
Good. It's over and everybody drowns because that's the only way to fix this thing.
Oh, I don't want to drown though.
No, but I really want people to start running as people without having,
Well, since you said people running as people, and just so we can prove that we are equal opportunity when it comes to giving you the truth, we're usually not speaking favorably about the Republicans. So we will definitely now give you a little bit of insight about the Democrats. So,
yay! Do the Democrats! Do the Democrats!
I was at a meeting
Republicans for so long. It's time for them.
Let's give everybody their fair share. I was at a meeting last Thursday, the NAACP local general meeting, and during this time, we had a gentleman come in by the name of Barry Lights, who came in to profess how his line was stole from him and how he was guaranteed. He took the pictures, he signed the papers, yada, yada, yada. And how Kathleen Cleary came in with none other than Joan Sergel with their petitions already signed as if they knew that they were going to win. And the spiel that he gave to us, the way he spun it, if you were in the room, it was very, enlightening. Like, okay, so the Democrats are really not the minority, party, because look what they do to the minorities. Because then he had they spoke about what happened with the supervisors race with Tracy, which he didn't back, BTW. And, now it's like, oh, now they're doing it to me because I'm the black guy or whatever. That's how he spun it. So quite naturally, he knew what he was doing. Hasn't been to an NAACP meeting in I don't know how long. And he had the nerve to talk about people's reality. See, this is where I get really angry. When you live in Lloyd Harbor, I guarantee you your reality is not my reality.
Yep.
So don't talk to me about the other politicians and how they can't see your true reality, but you can because your skin is brown. That doesn't work anymore, right? Because we really know what people are about. So I have to let him do his spiel because I'm an elected official there. So I don't say anything. I just, after the meeting concludes, we walk out. I thought it was odd that Joan would condone anything like that. And I was surprised at Kathleen because I've had a few conversations with her. She just didn't come across as that kind of person. And I don't know Barry that well to say what he would or what he wouldn't do. So I held off a little bit because I've had some personal things going on, so I haven't been able to get all the way entrenched. But I was looking again at another post, and it was saying how he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And then the true story came out, how when they did the polls or whatever they did at this particular Democratic meeting, Kathleen won by 88%, and Barry only had 12%. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but I think in anybody's mind, 88% is higher than 12. So you weren't going to win anyway.
Yes.
So his point was, why don't we just do the primary? For what? You didn't win, So they were going back and forth. So it's in a turmoil within the Democratic Party.
But did he get his signatures?
I don't know. He didn't speak of his signatures. He said that they came with their signatures, almost as if Joan and Kathleen basically had a plot for him. That's how I took it. Everyone's interpretation may be different. I don't know. But that's what I took from it.
Do you remember how I ended last week's show?
What did you say?
There is no white privilege. There's liberal privilege. There's connected privilege. It's class privilege. And in politics, it's the politically connected. So if you're not part of their group, you're not going to be on that ballot, and they will not.
Well, see, that's where I'd have to be like, you might be right in some cases, but this one, I'm not sure. He is within their realm of the connected folks, especially when it comes to economic class. We'll say that. So I don't know what took place, but the people who were in the room that night when the whole situation took place with the Democrats, they gave a completely different story. So it's almost as if the Democratic Party are now, one side is this way, the other side is that way. So they're full of mess. Both parties, Republicans, need to get rid of Tony Teeb. The Democrats need to get rid of Mary Collins. If you could get up and walk to town hall to say your spiel in January, there's no reason why you didn't get up and walk when your candidate was being slammed with lies. You chose not to. You can't pick and choose what candidate you want to support. Once your party picks them, you got to support them. Both chairmen need to be gone. The ride has been long enough. Let's move on. So they have a little bit of
Bento? It's not Bento, is it?
Well, who's in charge?
Kathleen Cleary.
No, the other guy. What's his name?
Bento was someone else who they said was whispering about a primary. I don't even know what his significance is because he came out of nowhere.
You want to see him? I want you to see. He's silly. Hold on.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's so silly. Let me see.
Oh, I saw him. Yes.
It's for keeps this time. I'm not sure if many of you know, but the Democratic Party in Huntington had a caucus tonight. Thanks in part to my actions and the actions of this campaign. We had a caucus to decide who our designated candidates would be to run alongside Joan Circle. After much discussion with fellow committee members, as well as the other candidates, I found sort of a kindred spirit in former state Senate candidate Kathleen Cleary of East Northport. She represents the values that I was running on, but more importantly, she is much more well established, and as such, can bring that platform to bear much more effectively than I could have this year. The most important thing is to make sure that Gene Cook is not sent back to town council, and that Republican Andre Sorrentino sees this as his one and only flirt with running for office. Kathleen, I full-heartedly believe will do what's right by us. She's a regular person just like you and me. She
who are you?
And that is why she has my full endorsement. I withdrew my name from the nomination before we even went to ballot at caucus, and Kathleen had overwhelmingly
won the vote. I can't do this anymore. If I have to do one more,
of course he goes to watch that. Oh my God, that was painful.
I'm sorry. I apologize to our viewers. I'm so sorry. That was
the Democratic Party are the most elitist people I've come. Like, they think that people owe them their vote. Yeah. The way that he talks, as if I've never seen this man even pump gas at the same place that I'm at. How dare you? She's just like you and I. Who are you? Because I don't know you. I mean, Kathleen, don't get me wrong, because I've come across her. She's a very nice lady. You know, her values, I can take some and leave some with most politicians. But how dare you come out? Who are you? Bento, Benito, whatever your name is. I don't even know you. Like, I'm going to take your vote, your word. Who are you? And that was the other thing. that is buzzing around about Mr. Cook and his lies. I'm not saying it because I've been so removed for a little while. I'm slowly getting back in because he swore he wasn't running again. And also Andre Sarantino, because he was seen with a very well-known African-American male, and all the buzzes is going around. Listen, Andre is a nice guy. Now, he is somebody I've seen in town. He is somebody who I've spoke with in town hall and on New York Avenue. He is someone I've seen in stores. So would I be more apt to vote for him to say because he's more like me? I see his pictures with his family. I've had conversations with him. We've messaged each other. I would be more inclined to follow Andre than any of them because I don't see any of them.
We go back to he was spotted with the black book guy. It wasn't at the Bald Eagle Nest Hotel, right?
What?
Okay,
No.
okay. What is this rumor lie that's circulating?
What?
You've intrigued me. What do you?
No, he has Al White has endorsed him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, the White family is very well known. Yeah.
Right. And he basically has opened many of our eyes to certain things. So it's like now it's very interesting how this race will play out, because to have someone like Al back Andre right out the gate, it says a lot. And I think the Democratic Party, which I really am not a fan of at this point in time, it's almost a sense of entitlement. Like you owe us the vote. Yeah. No, we don't. And if you didn't learn from Hillary, who thought some people owed her the vote, she's not in the White House. So stop with entitlement, because you're not entitled. And people don't forget that thing that happened at Huntington High School, the entire situation, I guarantee you, will come up time and time again at this particular election. And I don't care what anyone says. The first person who said something publicly to even attempt to even give the illusion, if he didn't even care, was Gene Cook. So based off of that, I have to give him a small fraction ahead of everyone else, because he was the first one and the only one who followed up.
The only one.
Don't tell me about, we
took it to
grants
belong.
for this. Yeah, we're getting grants for this. We're getting grants for that. And then you try to spin it. And to be honest, since we're talking, Gene is probably one of the few people that when they speak, they're aware of the culture's sensitivity. Because I've heard some Democrats say some things and it cringes my skin. And I'm saying, if you are so in tune with the minority community, you would never say those type of things. You would never say those type of things. So say what you will about Gene. Either he's a great politician or whatever the case may be, but he knows when to show up and he knows when to make sure he's being seen. And that's what counts in elections.
The Democrats have had a long history of using identity politics and using that as a venue to keep this victim mentality, and they're the saviors of that. So they alone, they use the blacks. They're currently using this illegal immigration thing now, and it's just, that's been the whole theme of the Democrat Party for a while, and I think people are starting to wake up to that. I'm no fan of the Republican Party. I'm no fan of parties at all. I think the game is disgusting, and people go in with really good intentions and they start playing the game like you're starting to see Joan do it now. And it's a shame, because good people had good intentions. They really did. And I understand you have to navigate it, but somebody has to be brave enough to say it stops here and this is where we start changing.
And something that I've recently noticed when I was, in the midst of switching parties, the Democrats.
You switched? Wait, back up. You switched?
No, we're not giving that information yet.
Oh, but you just dropped it.
Yeah, no, I just said when I, was considering. I didn't make anything definite. Okay, but we're gonna go back to something else.
Okay, go ahead.
One thing that I've heard so much about is that the Republicans are racist, right? They don't promote minorities. They don't have that many minorities. The minorities they have are secretarial work, whatever the case may be. And that may be so. And then I've heard that the Democrats are so pro-black They are pro diversity. They want to have the inclusion and everybody should get this and get that. But what I've discovered after doing research on multiple candidates, the Republicans are in your face with their crap. This is what we are. This is what we're presenting to you. Take it or leave it. The Democrats are backdoors. So we're going to paint a beautiful picture, but behind you're going to see that the artist is like basically writing with tools with his nubs. Like it's not as pretty as you think. For me as a person, I'd rather you show me who you are to my face and allow me to make the decision, as opposed to you painting this picture and then I find out 6 months later that you and your legislative aide had private conversations about me. Oh, wait, let me not take it there. That's another bomb we got to drop next week. Oh, did I mention that? Yeah, okay. So that's another story. And please, people understand when I tell you something, I have, as they say, my receipts. So when I hear these conversations, I'm just like, why would you want to mess with me of all people? I have nothing to lose. Nothing. I don't know. None of my family works here. I don't have any contingencies. We just have a home here and I raise my children here. That's it. But if you want to do it, we can, because I'm the right person. I'll definitely call you and I'll pull everything out so you can see. You shouldn't really have your legislative aides or whatever you call them these days talking crap. What's wrong with you? Don't you know everybody in here talks about everybody else and they have no problem with sending screenshots? I'm getting personal. Go ahead, Jenny. You can take it over from here because I'm getting hot again.
Okay, so on a national level, just to segue away from that hotness, they do constantly say how they're the party of diversity, representing, we're for women, and Republicans want to take away their women's health care, which I have as much rights. In fact, in some cases, I'm paid more than my male counterparts. So I have yet to have any woman tell me with any validity what rights I don't have that they're fighting for. I've asked this question all the time. So it always bothers me because they're using my gender and I don't support what they're saying about it. But they're for women, they're pro-women. The Republicans hate the women. The Republicans are just the party of old white guys. I hear that all the time. We're the party with minorities and for blacks, and we're pro-immigration, which really means they want open borders, which really means they're pro-globalists. I got into a little spat on my wall today because I'm a nationalist and I'm white. But when the media puts that together, they then say, well, you're a white nationalist. Then they start saying white supremacist, white nationalist. So they're marrying it together to start to brainwash people into believing that's true. But I find
what's a white nationalist? What is a white nationalist?
Well, you're a black nationalist.
Okay,
but America.
Okay.
Okay, so a nationalist is somebody who, you have Russian nationalists, you have Chinese nationalists, but when the media puts a white in front of it, all of a sudden, everything, now you're a white supremacist. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to brain trick people by using these words synonymously with each other so that when they say white nationalists, people automatically think, oh, fucking Nazi. Oh, sorry. Oh, so anyways, the whole point.
Don't get personal.
The party. You ever think how many times I was called a Nazi and I was having Klan parties at my house? Craziness. She's got one coming to her soon. So, I keep a list.
Yeah.
So the Democrat Party, who's the party of, women, and it's the party of minorities, the top 3 people that are running to possibly be the Democratic nominee to run against President Trump for the 2020 election is, in order of popularity, Joe Biden, Father Billy Biden. I saw, yes, I've seen the statistics on this. So
he's confirmed he's running?
No, he has not. But polling data.
Okay.
Polling data. So you have at the very top is Joe Biden. He's got like 81%, so crazy. And he hasn't even announced. Bernie Sanders is right below him. And then Robert O'Rourke, Beto Crazy Hands from Texas.
I know who he is.
Okay. His name's Robert. He's trying to play Spanish Beto. All the women and the minority women aren't even coming in with like 1 or 2%.
Not even Harris?
Nope, she's way down at the bottom of the pile. I think she's actually below Pocahontas. Senator Warren. Senator Warren?
No, what's Pocahontas at?
You know what? Next, I'm gonna bring that chart with us because we're gonna be good. The elections have already started, so I'm gonna bring that with us. I don't think
the top 3 guys are old white men.
Right. They're right. Joe Biden is old and white.
Father Time.
And he heals all those little girls up all the time when he's giving awards to the parents. So gross.
He sniffs
them and he sniffs their hair like, oh, he's so violent.
Yeah, he's creepy.
He really is.
If he runs for office, I would have a party. I would have a, what do you call it? A fundraiser for him, and I would definitely vote for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's not talk about people touching little girls and being inappropriate with women, because y'all president that you both love, he got a history too.
Well,
he's a little freak.
He's an alpha male, but yeah, and don't get me started about that grab him by the thing, because that was grossly taken out of context. There are women who will allow you to grab them by their genitalia if you are a star. That is true. They're called gold diggers. You know that they're out there. There are lots of women that will throw themselves at men with money to get that new couch. That was said in context of him taking that woman couch shopping. Couch, yeah. He said he tried to push up on her and she didn't go for it because she was married. How's that a scandal?
And look at Cardi B. She drugs them and robs them.
Right. That's true. Cardi B, man. If Cardi B had been a man and said what she said this week, she would have been exasperated for that.
She's getting a lot of backlash from that, and
I haven't seen that. You see that more than I do.
Yeah, I heard it. I mean,
depending upon
that was pretty crazy.
Who hears it? She can lose endorsement. That was, I mean, it was an old Vine or whatever it was of hers.
How old was that? How long ago did she really say that?
I think it was maybe a few years. I'm not sure. It was old. Oh. I'm not a fan of hers like that. Like, I like some of her songs, but I don't really listen to her like that. And she's really raunchy to an extent.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to a lot, but I did hear some of that just because of what she said.
Yeah.
She is receiving backlash from that, and she has a tremendous amount of endorsements. I hope she doesn't lose them.
I haven't really seen. I've been too busy reading all the transcripts from the Mueller case. I know everyone's all they saw was the 4-page bar. They want to see the full Mueller report, and I'm over here like, if you've read all the sentencing documents and you've read the testimony that they've been releasing, you pretty much read 80% of the Mueller report. I've read the Steele guy. There was a case for libel against BuzzFeed, and he was one of the people that was deposed in London. I read all that testimony, and in that, in that, Steele says that his dossier is false. He admits that his own dossier was fraudulent. It was bought and paid for by the DNC. So
Mueller is, public enemy number 1 to the Democrats. What do they actually think is really in the rest of the report? What are they looking?
I think regardless of what's in there or what's not in there,
what do they think is in there?
The Democrats have to appear as though that they're keeping their promise to go after Trump. So even if it wasn't something in there, I mean, they still have to appeal to their base, just like he has to appeal to his base. I'm not sure, but what I will tell you is that I'm sick of hearing about the Mueller. I'm sick of hearing about Trump. I don't want to hear about anyone's scandals. He's out of office or he's running up, whatever. Let's get this over with. And I'm tired of hearing about Jesse. If you are in Chicago and that is your main center, when you have all those killings, you need to rethink that whole judicial system, because he should not be breaking news. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't harm anybody but himself. He should not be breaking news during this time frame. We have so many other things to talk about.
Can you imagine what the local news is like in Chicago now. It must be 24 wall-to-wall coverage on that.
And how many killings did you have? How many killings have? Or are you going to still blame that on Obama? Is that what we're still? Oh, wait, we're not doing that anymore. Oh, okay, great. Focus on that.
Did you know that there was an attempt to assassinate our president today, and that the man that he had a car full of explosives, he was going to drop. He had all when they got him. He had all these weapons. They had I-68 on the Maryland border to Virginia shut down for 3 hours today because of this, and they got the guy. But he had a car full of biological chemicals that could have taken like crazy stuff, and they really prevented. Not once did I hear about it at all. I didn't hear anything about it. The only reason I heard about it was on Twitter, and then there was this guy who was actually listening to the police scanner and typing it out for everybody, like what was being said, how it was going down, how the Secret Service was now coming in, and the media doesn't cover that. They want to cover this stuff, and they haven't realized, like, we are so tired of hearing about this. And the Democrats, you don't have a policy to run on. You know, these don't know why Trump won. He ran on. He's actually kept his promises. You may not have liked all his campaign promises. The economy's on fire. I don't know why you wouldn't like them, but he very specifically gonna build the wall. Gonna do this, gonna fix trade. He was really big on trade, gonna get out of the Paris Accord. He's done all that. I'm gonna fix the military. The Democrats' message is we're gonna impeach Trump.
They have nothing else.
Right.
Nothing burgers. It's so sick.
It is. I did hear about that today with the president and the shutdown.
But did you hear about it on the news, Dana? I know you heard about it from me, but did you hear about it on the news?
No, I heard it. No, I heard about it before you even told me about it. I didn't hear about it. I was actually on the web, and that's how I found out about it.
Okay, good. But see, now you only find out on social media.
Right. This was today, and I mean, this was during the day, and I never understood people who try to go kill a president, because if you try to kill a president, you only immortalize him even more. So if you're trying to eliminate him, why would you try to kill him? That's just going to make him more great than what he may or may have not been. You could see that in all the, the presidents who were assassinated.
Well, right? When Reagan got shot, he won his next election in a landslide.
Yeah, I mean, he won it because he won it in a landslide. If he died, he would have been the greatest president in the world.
But even more concerning was the explosives that he had in the car, and he wanted to take out the Pentagon.
And why wouldn't that be, why? I don't understand why that wouldn't be newsworthy, but I have to understand why Jesse Smollett and the mayor and the top cop, I don't give a crap about any of that.
I think it's more the scandal of who made those charges go away, because it brings to the forefront the same type of privilege that you're seeing with what's her name? It's escaping me now, with the college applications and getting their kids in college. Lori Loughlin and Felicity.
But that's a little different, because you're actually hurting people. You're buying your way.
No, it's not.
You're preventing. That's different.
Another example of privilege. And that money can buy you out of anything or who you know. So it's privilege. There's rules for people like us, and there's a different set of rules for the other people.
That's common. I mean, I think everybody, that's common knowledge. That's how it's been since the dawn of time. It's always been, some people are privileged, some people are not. But I don't care. He gave you the $10,000. I know it's a lot of manpower. Great. I need other business. I need you to show me something else.
Would you care if he did that and staged that because they wanted to get a policy through Congress? The anti-lynching law was passed after that, which, by the way, I always thought that hanging somebody was a crime. I don't know why we had to pass another law that lynching was a crime. So I don't know what that was all about, but that bill had previously not passed after the Jesse Smollett incident, but before the scam was revealed. They held a vote on making this lynching law illegal, and then all of a sudden it passed because it was in the forefront. Everyone's talking about it.
you can't really ask a Black person about lynching because we have a bad history with that. So in my eyes, it should never have been on the table. It should have been a law passed a long time ago. Now, did they?
But it should be a crime to hang somebody.
Period.
But it always was. Why did you need to make another law?
Because lynching is a little bit different than the hanging from when you were, let's say in the Cowboys and Indian days. Let's just say that Native American. It's a little different. When you talk about lynching someone, it's connected to slavery. It's connecting to injustice of African Americans. So the term in itself means more than a hanging. Although it's almost the same exact thing, the term is used differently. If I tell you, oh, Sarah got hung, you would be like, oh, wow, what did she do? But if I say, they lynched Sarah, you'd be like, why?
It's when they drag them behind the horses, right? And then hang them?
Lynching is just something that is.
Describe the difference between hanging and lynching.
Okay, so hanging usually is done. You have your platform, right? You cover the person's head, or you put them on a horse. They're humane ways, as opposed to lynching.
Humane hanging.
Yeah, I mean, as humane as hanging could be. Yeah. Lynching, right? You're going to actually pull someone, and they're, swinging back and forth. You're doing some type of harm, or there's so many other faculties to the lynching process. So it's different. It's not really different. It's the style of hanging. That's what I will say.
They're both still murder, which is already.
I guess because you don't understand how it's affected certain people, you don't get it. But if you say to me someone was hung, I would be like, okay, not okay, but what happened? But if you say someone is lynched, automatically I'm going to think the person is Black. I
didn't understand why that bill was coming up. I'm not saying it, and we're not having a rash incident of lynching in our country that made the bill even necessary. So I find it curious that it was brought up and passed.
We've had quite a few in this past week alone. You want to talk about what's not brought up in the media? And this past week alone, there have been 3 lynchings. It was a young man who was lynched in his car, in his trailer. If you follow people like DL Hughley, Tariq Nasheed, they give you a daily breakdown, but it's not put in mainstream media. It's just not. So in the southern states, lynching is actually still taking place.
I gotta see if I think I follow one of those people you just said, DL quickly.
So the lynching is more like a mob killing. They're still being hung.
I have Dr. Quigley.
And it's for offensive without a legal trial. So it's like we're gonna kill you regardless. Even if you're guilty or you're not, we're still gonna lynch you.
Oh, so it's like the modern day mob, basically. Yeah. Modern day mob that we see going on social media every day. Somebody's accused of something and we're offended. So now we're going to come after you. We're going to find out where you live. We're going to destroy you, your home, your credit report, your job, your dog, all of it. Because, oh, I'm sorry, we were wrong. You were found not guilty at trial. Oh, sorry. In fact, you won't even get a sorry.
And you can look what happened. If you ever have any question, look what happened to the Dolphin Diner. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, the Golden Dolphin.
The Golden Dolphin. He's gone.
He's gone. There's been a few stories that have been passed to me privately that I have not brought into the stratosphere. And I've outright told people, we don't know anything that's going on right now. It's just speculation. And we don't spread it. Let it end here. And if you don't see an actual police docket report with charges and solid proof, we have no right to. We live in a very small town, very small town.
And we have to be careful. You don't want to say things that, you don't want to, like I said, we can always refer back to that Golden Dolphin. Nobody wants, because that was a fire that was set. That was,
Yeah. Remember what happened to me when that guy went on my Facebook page and took my Trump hat and put it on the Huntington page that I run? That was a lynch mob.
That was another case. Perfect example.
Yep. I was thinking of that. I just didn't want to say it.
And you see, to some people, and I will tell you this honestly, if I saw you with the MAGA hat, would I care? No. But I did care when
you would laugh at me. You girl, what are you doing wearing
Yeah,
that?
I'm like,
you're getting hurt.
We're not going outside like that. But when the guy at 7-Eleven with his beer said something inappropriate to my son with his MAGA hat on, of course I'm going to notice that you have a MAGA hat on now. Because what you said was inappropriate and you didn't know he was with me. So as people do things for that, I think that's why he brought it to the page. Like, before you take her seriously, look at what she, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I generally only pop in when somebody wants to say, oh, this whole page, because I protect the page. These other discussions, I kind of, I let them do their thing, and I just make sure that people, I want to keep it a free speech zone.
Yeah.
This doesn't belong here on a community page. What is this doing here? Admin, please help me.
I like it when they say, oh, then just remove me from the group.
You can remove yourself.
You know what? I know what political party you belong to based on that one statement. You lazy.
Remove yourself. I hate when they say that.
Yeah.
Or they make the announcement, I'm leaving this group. Okay.
But you don't need to go in the post and make a comment. This doesn't belong here.
Right. Right. I love when people tell me
that to continue on. Go to the next one.
They tell me how well, you're not running this page right. Well, go start your own.
It's okay.
Your rules. I mean, honestly, God, it's my page. I run it. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's grown. So if you don't like it, go make your own page, or just sit here and have a conversation. One guy left because he goes, everybody just wants to talk about this and it's politics, and nobody's talking about the potholes. And I'm like, why don't you talk about the potholes?
No.
Talk about the potholes.
Go make a post about the potholes. And
somebody's not doing it for me. And that's the big difference between the politics that we're seeing. You can't even call them the right or the left anymore. The left wants somebody to be called in to take care of the situation for them. And the right wants that personal accountability, and they take care of it for themselves. It's very interesting psychologically, I think. So
we need to start another party altogether called the Sane People Party.
I say screw parties. No more. No, it's not working anymore. Stop with it. It's corrupted. People.
I don't know if we'll ever get rid of parties in America. I just think that it's just associated with us and our DNA. That's just my personal opinion.
I'm never going to.
We got to have a party.
Yeah, but not that kind of party. Have one with balloons and cake.
Oh my Lord, I can't.
We'll have a party after we win. Ta-ta. So it's that time of night again.
Oh gosh.
9 o'clock already.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's right. But we'll be back.
It was a good show.
Dana's got something in the closet that you guys got to come back for next week. I don't even know what it is.
Let me stop. My son be looking at me like, you look crazy when you do that. Please don't do that again. Okay, I was trying to look funny.
That's
somebody's at my door. Yep.
Okay. Go ahead. We hope everyone enjoyed tonight's Huntington View. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hold on.